Greetings everybody, Patty here. How are you doing today? This is an article from Rense.com. The New Racism. Is there some group of people whose liquidation you'd tolerate? Perhaps some race, religion, or creed that deserves punishment, even extermination? What if I told you that such a group exists and you have been taught to silently condone their destruction? Well, there is a group whose persecution you are indoctrinated to tolerate. Atrocities against this group are not to be mentioned in polite company. Murders and rapes against this group are not worthy of detailed TV news reports. I'm talking about persecution against African whites. Yes, they are Africans, born and bred in Africa. Yes, they are white. And yes, there is a campaign to eradicate their culture, drive them from their land, even murder them. But you won't hear about it on the evening news. You won't hear the full story because our media and our culture is racist. You see, white people are guilty of being white, and everything white, European and Christian, is bad. Or haven't you heard? White people are the devil's spawn, the source of all evil in the world, the center point of suffering, exploitation, and war. God. According to the latest racist formulas, if you reduce the whites and eliminate the influence of the dead white males from universities, you will liberate mankind from the great oppressor. Then there will be paradise on earth. So the campaign against whites, which began many years ago, has advanced through country after country. Perhaps you missed hearing about the anti-white atrocities in Angola. Perhaps the history of Mozambique is unfamiliar to you. Recently, a 4-year-old white farm girl was reported raped and mutilated in South Africa. Did you hear about it? There is no reason to get upset, says the New Racism. White people have it coming. Oh, this is just horrible. That's right. Go back to shopping. The planetary race war aimed at the reduction of one's race above all others is perfectly justifiable. Europe's past sins help set the stage. The anti-whites, armed with the propaganda of white guilt, are now given a license to kill and rape thousands of innocent people. The people of Europe and America are paralyzed with ambivalence. No reaction occurs. No effective organ of outrage or countervailing force is brought into existence. An outright genocide against white Africans and their culture can continue in peace. White 4-year-olds will be raped again. They are guilty of being European and, what is worse, Christian. Their skin is pale. Their ancestors were colonizers. Kill them all, or shrug and forget about it. The whites of Africa are gradually being driven from their land, their country, their homeland. They could have resisted, but now they are like lambs to the slaughter because the whole white world feels the weight of past guilt. Colonialism was bad. Let the white Africans pay the price for this badness. We of Europe and America are liberal now. We no longer care for our race, our culture, or heritage. We only live for the present. We only want to shop. Let our cousins in Africa suffer. Perhaps this will appease the righteous indignation of the non-whites. Here's the logic of the New Racism. It is a racism that says white is bad, non-white is good. Anyone who stands up for white people is automatically listed with Hitler, who also stood up for white people. The trick here is guilt by association and guilt by skin color. Since 1994, blacks have killed over 1,000 white farmers in South Africa. Has there been a peep from the white world? Have American blacks complained about the treatment of a minority population in Africa? Or has a double standard emerged? It is an odd thing when humanitarian concern is blotted out by the fact of skin color. And please note, there is no racial solidarity on the white side, or none that amounts to anything. The great white herd, having liquidated Hitler from its midst, having purged the memory of Nazism and the colonial past, is now ready to be slaughtered and milked in turn. It seems that human beings cannot find a middle, reasonable path. We cannot get rid of racism. Instead, we must supplant one evil for another. Previously, it was the non-whites who suffered. Now we enter an era which whites are being tenderized for the spit. The madness of one form of prejudice never gives way to reason, but only to another type of prejudice. The same liberals who rant against the evils of the Dark Ages have paved the way to a new Dark Age. So let the black Africans exterminate the white Africans. Let an entire African culture go under. Say nothing, do nothing, go along and get along. After all, they're white. They deserve it. But behind the anti-white campaign is the specter of communism, a specter that is haunting Africa. It haunts Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Congo, and yes, South Africa. And behind communism stands the Red Chinese, the Kremlin, the North Koreans, and the Cubans. If you haven't noticed, Russian transports fly regularly into embattled cities of communist Angola. They are carrying weapons for the communists. The North Koreans are eyeing the uranium mines of the Congo. The Chinese and Russians have quietly aligned themselves with the communist-dominated ANC government of South Africa. The race card has been played by one side against another in a global struggle. Today, after playing this card, Western aid will not flow to pro-Western side of Africa. The strategic Cape Sea route through which the Middle East's oil flows to Europe and America can now be cut by the growing South African armed forces, which are now in league with Russia and China. Are you getting the picture? Alright, well, I will leave the link to this article in the description box. This is one huge atrocity. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good day. Bye.